the first thing he says is, I should, you know, I should do it because I'm a clergyman. I should do it because I think I'll be happy if I'm married, and I should do it because Lady Catherine told me to. Nothing about, I think I might be able to make you happy. And of course, she's very quick to say, you know, I'm the last person in the world who can make you happy, and the feeling's mutual, really. But it's extraordinarily selfish. So I think it's, though it's funny and we have a good laugh, we also see something quite unattractive in his character. It goes beyond just being a joke.
In the way that he does it, he's not just revealing that he's a fool, he's revealing that he's a deeply selfish person who doesn't really have much regard for anybody else at all, except by how he can advance his own station through association with them. He's just gone down the daughters, 1, 2 sort of thing. I always think it's a bit sad he never got as far as Mary, because Mary would have really appreciated it.
Yes, the next one, the next one in line was in fact the most appropriate.
So it's ironic because he doesn't realise what a fool he's making of himself. I think it works like that, doesn't it?
And now, nothing remains but to assure you in the most animated language of the violence of my affections.
Mr. Collins, please.
To fortune, I am perfectly indifferent. I am well aware that £1,000 in the 4% is all you may ever be entitled to. But rest assured, I shall never reproach on that score when we are married.
You are too hasty, sir. You forget that I have made no answer. Let me do so now. I thank you for your compliments. I am very sensible of the honor of your proposals, but it is impossible for me to accept them.
One of the serious points about this irony is that irony is being used to show who are the acceptable people, the people that we can bear, and the people that we can't, and the people that we that we will go for. Mr. Collins is demonstrating himself to be not worthy to be a husband for Elizabeth because he's too stupid. For her.
That's right.
He's not Elizabeth would have to have somebody who is capable of appreciating this kind of joke. There's another irony too, in which Elizabeth, who's arguably the most intelligent character in the book, can't see that simple thing, that Darcy is very sexually attracted to her. And Elizabeth completely misses this, that Darcy is looking at her because he can't help looking at her. And that he's enthralled to her at an early stage.
But when one stands back, the whole plot is full of great ironies like this, because Mrs. Bennet, the one who's really keen to have her girls marry the richest man in town, or in the country in this case, in fact doesn't spot that Darcy is completely on Elizabeth's line.
You get some revelations at the end when some characters are not quite up to speed with what's been happening.
I think already readers, of course, anticipate that lovers are going to come together, so that the whole plot is very ironic.
Oh, Mr. Bennet, God has been very good to us.
Yes, so it would seem.
It's also ironic that the least greedy woman in the novel hooks the richest man.
This final section has the openings of 3 BBC adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. The first was done in 1967, the second in 1980, and the final one comes from the 1995 version.
Dear Lady Lucas, Netherfield Park must be set at last. So it is, Mrs. Bennet. But who could have taken it? It has stood empty for more than a 12 months. It has been taken by a young man. A young man? Who is he? A young man of large fortune from the north of England. He came down on Monday in a chaise and four to see the place, and was so much delighted with it he has agreed to take it immediately. A young man of large fortune. Tell me, Lady Lucas, How large a fortune? Well, his father died recently and left him the sum of £100,000, which, properly invested in 4%, yields him £5,000 a year. 5,000 a year? Mr. Bennet will certainly visit him. Sir William has already made the young man's acquaintance. He pronounces him to be a fine, agreeable, upstanding young man, and not a day above 23.
Thank you, Lady Lucas. Good day.
Goodbye.
Mr. Bennet! Mr. Bennet! Mr. Bennet! Mr. Bennet! Mr. Bennet!
Mamma has heard the news.
Dear Mamma.
Well, do you not want to know his name?
You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it.
His name is Bingley.
Is he married or single?
Oh, single, my dear, to be sure. A single man of large fortune. What a fine thing for our girls.
How so? How can it affect them?
How can you be so tiresome, my dear Mr. Bennet? You must know I am thinking of his marrying one of them.
Ah, is that his design for settling here?
Design? Nonsense. How can you talk so? It is very likely that he may fall in love with one of them. Therefore, you must go and visit him as soon as he comes.
I see no occasion for that. You and the girls may go, or you can send them by themselves, which perhaps would be the best. For as you are as handsome as any of them, Mr. Bingley might like you the best of the party.
My dear, you flatter me. I certainly have had my share of beauty, but I do not pretend to be anything extraordinary now. No, you must go and see Mr. Bingley.
I will write him a few lines to assure him of my hearty consent to his marrying whichever of the girls he chooses, though I must throw in a good word for my little Lizzie.
If he has not a lively mind, I do not care if he has 20,000 a year.
And which is more important still, an amiable disposition.
If he came back in a scarlet coat, I'd take him without a farthing. If he's not in the militia, we won't even speak to him, will we?
Where will you find your heroes, Lydia, when this war is ended?
Lord, by that time I shall be an old woman anyway, so I shan't care.
His name is Mr. Bingley. He is unmarried and well under 30. What a wonder. A single man in possession of a good fortune coming to live at Netherfield.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that such a man must be in want of a wife.
Of course. He is the rightful property of one or other of the neighbourhood daughters.
However little is known of his character, Charlotte.
Little need be known, Eliza. Happiness in marriage is entirely a matter of chance. It is best to know as little as possible of the defects of the person with whom you are to pass your life.
You make me laugh, Charlotte. But it is not sound. You know it is not sound. And that you would never act that way yourself. Never.
Did your mother know Mr. Bennet before she married him? Did he know her?
You are too shrewd, Charlotte. Then my father is remarkable. So odd a mixture of quick parts and caprice that even after 20 years my mother still fails to understand him. Her mind is less difficult to comprehend.